This lady right here, look at her ass and legs. She's acting like my 79-year-old mother. But she's not my 79-year-old mother. And it's interesting when you Google Lorraine Abelet, our house pops up. Because this lady acts like Lorraine Inouye. So you Google Lorraine Abelet, and this house pops up, and then you look and then my mom's name starts popping up. She's trying to steal everything, and this is not my mother.
Come with me, and you'll be in the world of your imagination. Take a look, and you'll see into your imagination.
Well, today I got kind of a sad video. Penn, one of the greatest MMA fighters of all time, has seemingly lost his fucking mind via CTE and meth. BJ has had some brutal fucking fights where he got beat up real bad by Nick Diaz. I remember watching that live and I was like, holy shit, this guy is taking some fucking punishment. And who knows what happened. I don't know if he developed a drug addiction and went crazy. I don't know if it was CTE. It definitely seems like getting hit in the head has affected a lot of people in sports, NFL, MMA, and obviously that's gonna bring brain damage, and it's not good for you. Clearly getting hit in the head is gonna fuck up your brain and could potentially drive you insane, like Penn. It's pretty sad what has happened to him. I mean, he got murked in a fucking street fight one time and got completely KO'd by a random guy. That's why I don't fuck with street fights, because I need my brain. My brain is a money maker, okay? I don't make a living from fighting. I make a living from using my intelligence, my brain, my speech. So I absolutely can't risk things like brain damage. If I'm risking brain damage, you gotta pay me literally millions of fucking dollars, because that's how much my brain is worth to me. It's come out now that BJ, he thinks that his family was like replaced by clones and all this crazy shit. And it's pretty sad, man. He seems to be in a bad spot, and I don't even know how you help somebody like that. I mean, once somebody loses their mind, it is completely over. It's some really sad shit, man. So I want to take this time out to say to young men, if you want to be an MMA fighter, or maybe you have the opportunity to do another sport, you got to look at shit like this. Is your brain worth it? You know, these injuries that you sustain can literally ruin your entire fucking life, man. I actually did Taekwondo, and then I got into watching UFC when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16. My dad got me into it, and I was actually debating at one point, maybe I should fight, because my technique has always been good. I'm pretty athletic, but ultimately, I was talking to my dad at one point, telling him, you know, I'm kind of into this. Like, maybe I could be a fighter one day. And my dad told me, nah, you're too smart for that shit. Don't do it. And that was great advice, because look at the shit that's happening to these people who fight MMA. They're getting their brains fucked up. They're going crazy. I look at somebody like Penn or somebody like Nick Diaz. It seems like they got hit so many times that it definitely fucked them up. So if you're thinking about fighting, I would recommend, if you're a smart guy, you don't do it. Now, if fighting is all you have, it's your only way to make money, maybe then you consider being a fighter. Even then, I would say you better be very, very skilled. You better be very, very talented, because you don't want to take these shots. You want to be so good, like George St. Pierre, where you're not getting hit. Or maybe if you had the opportunity to go to the NFL, I get it, it's a lot of money, but just be aware, you might be literally sacrificing your entire life, because once you lose your brain, that's it, dude. You can't get another brain. Now, maybe someday we can have technology with AI and whatnot. You could actually, you know, fix your brain damage from CTE, but we're not there yet. We probably will be there in the very near future, maybe even in my lifetime. You know, that's highly possible and highly probable. But you got to be thinking, man. To most men who want to become fighters, I would say don't do it. That would be my recommendation. You probably don't have the skills of a Conor McGregor or a Islam Makhachev. You just might, but you probably don't, because that takes a lot of luck. It takes a lot of great genetics. You know, to be somebody like John Jones, do you have an 84-inch reach like John Jones? Do you have the speed of John Jones? Do you have the technical ability of John Jones? These are things you got to ask yourself, because if you're not one of those guys, one of those top guys who rarely gets hit, I just don't know if the career is going to be worth it. I mean, you could go do a trade, or you could become a police officer or a firefighter or something like that, electrician, and you'll never get brain damage. You'll make millions of dollars over your lifetime, and you can still have a good life. But with fighting, you could sacrifice, you know, maybe you throw a kick and your fucking leg snaps like Anderson Silva or Conor McGregor, and once something like that happens, you're fucked. I mean, these injuries last a lifetime, and these are serious injuries, man. It's not just the brain, it's like your legs, your arms, everything gets beat up. So if you're considering doing a dangerous sport like MMA, you gotta be thinking ahead and thinking about what could potentially happen to you, what could potentially happen to your brain, because the last thing you want is to go crazy like BJ Penn, and that's some really, really sad shit, because I'm sure his family wants to help, but how do you help a guy who's lost his fucking mind? I know a lot about mental illness because my uncle was schizophrenic, and there's really nothing you could do. They could put somebody who's schizophrenic on medication, but they still have no clue what's going on. I mean, my uncle was in a whole other reality. He would talk to himself and he would just say a bunch of nonsense. And he knew who I was, he knew my name, he knew my brothers and my grandfather, his father, and my dad, which is his brother. But there's really not much you can do. And it's really sad, man. So I can relate to somebody who loses a family member to CTE or some mental illness. Now, my dad had to watch this whole thing. I didn't have to watch the whole thing, but regardless, it definitely affected me. And I'm sure it affected my brothers and my whole family in some way. But with all that said, I would say most of you watching this, if you're into MMA, you should go spar, yeah, but you should spar light. And what I do when I spar with my brother, this is what we've been doing, because I'm 34, I'm an older guy, but I still want to work on my fighting skills without getting injured. We spar with 16-ounce gloves, mouthpiece, we spar light, and we only do boxing, wrestling, and jiu-jitsu. So that way, if it had to go down in the street, which I do anything to avoid a street fight at this point in my life, because I've had bad experiences where people talk shit to me, and trust me, you don't want to be in a street fight, because people are gonna gang up on you with their family members, their brothers, their friends. It is not an MMA fight, my friends, okay? The street is dangerous. You don't want your head hitting the fucking ground like hard cement like this on the street. Trust me, you don't. So what I would recommend, if you want to learn how to fight, just spar light, like 30%, 50%, you know, maximum. And if you don't throw kicks, because we don't throw kicks in sparring, only work on the kicks with pads or the heavy bag. And 16-ounce gloves, boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, that's it. That's all you need. You don't need to be throwing kicks on each other, because the highest risk of injury in sparring is the calf kicks, the leg kicks, the head kicks, elbows, knees. When you take all those things out, you have a very low risk of injury. So if you guys want to spar, you want to learn how to fight, that's what I recommend you do. That's what me and my brother do. And it's fun, it's light, you play around, you keep your fighting skills and your fighting ability, you know, at a good level. And yeah, you're gonna be able to fight and you're not gonna have brain damage. That's all I wanted to say about this topic. I just wanted to say that, you know, it's sad when these fighters are losing their minds because they got hit in the head way too many times. So if you guys want to learn how to fight, do it safe. Do it in a way where it's not going to have long-term consequences and you're not going to have injuries from this shit just for self-defense. It's like, bro, you really don't need self-defense because you can avoid 99% of fights by just not talking shit back, by avoiding the fight in the first place. It's all about your ego, man. It's like if somebody talks shit to me at a bar, I used to get really angry and it bothered me and I wanted to fight these guys, and it's just so stupid. Being an older man now, 34, I got no business fighting people on the street. I don't want to fight people. You could call me a pussy, a bitch to my face at a bar and I won't do shit because I don't want to fight you. If you want to fight me, you got to fight me in a cage or in a ring and I got to get paid straight up. So guys, be smart. And if you're thinking about doing one of these dangerous sports, know the consequences and understand, are you willing to take these risks to possibly ruin your brain? That's it. That's all I want to say. I'm Bo Magic, and I'm out.